Hello and welcome to another Uncomplication. I'm Ryan and I am back with another crypto video for you. I felt it was time. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of blood in the streets, panic in the blogosphere, and yeah, I wanted to come and just share some thoughts. I know I've been super reluctant to do crypto videos at all, and in the last video I posted, it was my first video after about 2 months of just taking some time to focus on other things. Through that last video, I think I've come to the point where if I have something interesting to say, I'll share it, but I'm not gonna come here and try and make stuff up, try and keep you entertained. But today is a great day to kind of check in, see where we're at, see what we're feeling, thinking, and doing. And I want to start just by looking at the Bitcoin price chart. And this is the chart that I had up 2 months ago in my last crypto video when I was making some assumptions, predictions, and drawing lots of scribbles on the chart. And at the time, I was noticing how we had this was in February, we had just kind of gone from a local bottom of about 32,000 in Bitcoin up to about 45,000 over just a couple days, about 16 days. It was about a 40% move. And so there was a lot of excitement. A lot of people in the space were hopeful that this was a big relief rally, that we were going to see altcoins move and some other things. And at the time, I was just observing how when we had these big runs and then corrections, we would see these distribution structures. So remember, a distribution is when the smart money, the institutions, the big holders are distributing and selling. And they are keeping price kind of trapped in a range while everyone thinks the price is going higher, the price is going higher, the price is going higher. And they're able to sell their holdings over a period of time before turning it around and bringing the price back down. And so we saw again and again, of course, the big one the first time, the Wyckoff distribution that we all know and love. And then we had this accumulation, and then another one, distribution, redistribution. And so at the time, 2 months ago, seeing this big blast in price and then this little correction, I just drew sort of a distribution structure and then a correction back down. And it was interesting to watch this play out over the last couple of months because it was the magnitude, the direction were in the right ballpark, but it was a reverse pattern. It was almost like a mirror from what I was expecting. We did eventually, and today and yesterday, even more so on this downslope, and I'll talk about what I think happens next. But first of all, just some musings about this. I thought we were going to have a little bit of a distribution, and in thinking about this, it makes sense that we're seeing more accumulation patterns on the downside in the bear market. In this backside of the last all-time high, we've been tracking these bear market structures, and so I think that I've shown this a couple times. Distribution has a set of moves in psychology, and accumulation is the mirror image. So in accumulation, the object of the smart money institutions, etc., is to buy. So the price is going lower. Oh, the price is going lower. Oh, keep people in a state of fear. So they're able to shake people out again and again and again, buying up these assets. But it's an inverse. So it's just interesting to me to see that this prediction was it was opposite in its character, but it held pretty true in its overall direction. So I'm going to have some guests on today. I'm really excited to invite Cello and Crypto Codex. These are two guys that are really active in the Crypto Garden. They put out the Crypto Garden newsletter. They're posting videos. I'm going to talk to them here in a little bit about what they're looking at, what they're thinking about. But I want to just start the ball rolling by kind of sharing some of my thoughts. So as I sit here, I ask myself, why am I even looking at this? Why do I care? Why am I still kind of hanging around crypto? And the answer for me, my crypto thesis, is that I believe still that crypto is a cool asset class, that it is emerging into the public awareness, and that it's not going away. And so on a day like today, when price is dropping and people are feeling squeamish, again, like I say all the time, when in doubt, zoom out and just see this bigger picture. I know there's a lot of junk written on the chart here. Let's go to the BLX. This is my favorite kind of long-term view. But these lines, these blue lines, these are the halvings. And we've had how many? 1, 2, 3, We're coming up on the fourth halving, and we see some very definite cyclic structures in here. And even though this time around we did not have a big parabolic blow off top like we had in the last bull run, just this scream right up to all-time high and then bear market, we had this much more mature distribution, accumulation, distribution, redistribution, and now we're kind of in the bear market structures. And this has actually taken quite a bit of time towards the next halving. So that's kind of nice. Whereas before we were already, kind of maxed out and on the decline in a lot shorter time frame. I just want to show you this. This is a breakdown of up until the most recent bull market, how these cycles work. So going back to the beginning of Bitcoin, there have been bull markets here in the blue. Let's look at the most recent one. So there's a bull market and then a bear market, and then a phase of intense accumulation, and then an expansion. And then here you can see in 2015, 2016, reaccumulation. So from the retail investor standpoint, not very exciting, not a lot to talk about. There's probably a lot of just sort of lukewarm news or even fearful news as the big operators are gobbling up, every free token. But then we have a halving and it kicks off another bull market. So this is my thesis. This is what I'm looking at, and this is what I've talked about every time I've come on here recently and just said what I think is going to happen, is I think that there's no reason why this very profitable game wouldn't be reset and done again. And so we're looking at the next halving approximately in December of 2023. That's not that far away. My date might not be exact. It's more of a programmatic thing. But, this span of time, are we going to wait around and hope that we're really going to shoot back up and the bull market's going to continue? Or are we going to find some better practices, mindsets, and strategies that are going to get us ready, just like we could have been back here, for another big cycle? And that's the way that I'm thinking about this. So my thesis is that crypto's not going away. It's a profitable game. And I'm just going to take this time and watch from a distance as we kind of go through the bear market moves, getting back into another cycle. I'll talk a little bit more about what I actually think the shape of this might look like. I'll talk about that next. So here's a chart that has a lot on it. And let me kind of unwind this a little bit. This was from a video that I was doing earlier for the Crypto Garden, and I will kind of re-give this little spiel. So this is the same Bitcoin price chart, and what I have here are a couple of Fibonacci extensions, and I have these yellow bar patterns. This is copied directly from the last bear market cycle. And I was following for a while Blockchain Backer. I still really like that guy. I think he does a good job of looking at the big macroeconomic picture in the lens of crypto. And he was tracking for 5 months, from really October of 2021 all the way up until very recently. Bitcoin was following very closely some of these bar patterns from the previous bear market. So further substantiating that we're in a bear market phase. But what I did was I just copied over the bar patterns. I don't think it's going to be exact, obviously, but just hypothetically, if we did put in a bear market floor that was close to last time, that would put us somewhere around $20,000. This is not science. This is just how I'm thinking about it. A floor of $20,000. And so what's interesting is if we did a Fibonacci extension, retracement extension, I'll just do these again so you can see how I'm doing them. Here's the Fibonacci retracement tool. I'm going to go from the previous market cycle top in December of 2017. I'm going to drag this down to that bear market floor that was right around $3,000, and that draws out these Fibonacci extensions. And we can see that in this market cycle, we fulfilled on the promise of loading up this big spring and getting into these upper Fibonacci's. So we got right into the 3.618, a little bit higher, not quite to the 4.2. But, this was kind of a full extension, and then we had the distribution and all the fun stuff that was in there. So here's what I'm looking at. What if we had a similar magnitude move next time? This is assuming that there's not another all-time high ahead of us. There could be a time that we get, pretty high up here, 57,000 we could definitely see some more moves. But as far as the next big bull market in the way that we think about it, let's just pull from the all-time high of just under 70,000 down to around 20,000. And keep in mind, this is on the logarithmic chart. So this is a logarithmic scale. It goes up by a magnitude of, I'm not sure, it's exponential though, you can see. So if we were to then have another big, who knows what kind of funny business would go on here, but let's just say we got up into the same level of extensions, we're looking at a $200,000 plus Bitcoin. So, this is a long-term view. We're talking 2024, 2025, but this is the lens that I'm looking at crypto through. I think that getting caught up in the day-to-day, if you're looking at the hourly chart, the daily chart, and following the news feed, and I'm sure in this period of time, just as always, there's going to be all kinds of scary news items. There's going to be talk about banning crypto and all the reasons why it's not a good idea. That's keeping people away from it. So over months and years, the larger holders, the institutions that are making a lot of money from this, can come in, buy it up, and get ready to create that cause to move again. So I'll leave it at that. I know that's a lot in a short amount of time. Some of the other things that I check in with regularly are just the fear and greed index. And again, if we're talking bull run and looking at these bright green greed phases, they really come after we've dipped down into an accumulation range. We've got the dark red, the terror, the fear, which we even got into after that first big distribution. But we've really just been lukewarm. We've been, fearful, going on maybe slightly greedy, but just kind of these middle orange muddy colors. And so there's not a lot of cause here, in my mind, in my thinking, to blast us back up to all-time highs. So with that, I'm going to bring in my guests. We're going to have a little bit more conversation just about what these very smart cryptonauts are seeing and thinking. So let's bring them on now. You stole my dog.
Yeah, I did.
What are you feeding her?
Cute.
She looks petrified.
No, she's eating like only the best food, okay?
Thanks, yeah.
I'm giving her steaks and whatnot.
Oh. It's fun sharing a reality with you. I mean, I'm in parallel universe A, you're in parallel universe T. So how you doing?
I'm doing good. Like my university classes are finally back on campus. So it's a bit of a getting used to sort of thing, but it's been nice. I feel like I'm learning a little bit better. Don't have as many things to get me unfocused as I had before.
And now you've probably got like real friends instead of just stolen stuffed dogs.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, it's good to see you in person, as it were. What are you doing on a day like today when, I don't know, everything's sort of down in crypto, and what's your mindset when you see price drops of like 10% over a couple days?
Honestly, like all that I'm doing is just DCA a little tiny bit into Bitcoin every single week, and that's it. That's what I've been doing for a long time now. I think trading in these current market conditions is not really useful, but to each his own. And I also just recorded a video for the Crypto Garden channel on the Wyckoff course series that I'm doing.
Yeah, so, awesome.
Yeah, that's going nicely too.
That's cool. Yeah, you're a natural teacher, so it'll be fun to see how you can illuminate me in thinking. What are some of the bigger topics that do have your interest then? I mean, obviously trading is maybe not the biggest draw right now. Are there like projects that you're looking at or things that you're more optimistic about in the space than other things?
Optimistic about? I don't know. I haven't seen like any interesting enough development in DeFi lately, to be very honest. Like it's basically the same recycled idea over and over again, but with the higher APY or something like that. And with time, that just gets, kind of demotivating, right? Because once upon a time, we had all of this innovation. Every couple of weeks, someone was
Once
doing
upon a time,
something very
like
new.
6 months ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We had this, huge innovation. Like every couple of weeks, someone was doing something new. It wasn't always, the best thing ever, but at least they were trying to do something new, trying to solve some sort of problem, trying to make like the Olympus DAO, trying to make a different concept of a stable coin or whatnot. Even if it went wrong, at least I feel like there was some innovation in the space. And right now, honestly, I even try to follow some of those DeFi YouTubers that try to, show us some interesting projects. But I just, to be very honest, I don't see good ideas. Like it's all the same stuff.
So what do you think about this? It's always been weird to me that the market and trading is so closely tied to the technology in some weird way, where like, yeah, 6 months ago, there were all of these innovative teams and lots of optimism about the future of banking and all of this stuff. Why would that change so drastically just based on the price of the tokens that drive it? I mean, why does that undermine the innovation, do you think?
I don't know. I think it honestly goes back to the whole, lack of theory thing of just, lack of interest. You start to create this lack of interest during these downtrends. And then after that, you build the cause to make it go up again. Then those innovations come back around.
Yeah, it takes the wind out of the sails of these real project teams that are actually trying to bring new thinking to the world. And it's kind of unfortunate that that is so tied to the price of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, what other so there's a newsletter coming out. What were some of the topics that kind of grabbed your interest to talk about in
on the newsletter? Like the latest topic that I wrote about is, it has to do with the thing that I talked about, that DeFi seems to have little to no innovation. I talked about vampire attacks, which are, basically those DeFi projects that straight out copy someone else, but they try to make it a little bit more interesting for a consumer at the start. Okay. And then if you look at the data, you'll see that eventually, since they do these, huge rewards and 300% APY, eventually just all these tokens go down. And if you make it, even with the token going down, like Sushi, for example, if you look at Sushi Swap, it had a lot of hype earlier this year. And then you just see, Sushi is trending down, like the token Sushi is trending down, but still they have managed, I feel like, to create a very solid competitor to the Uniswap DEX, right? Because Sushi Swap is now present in, like all the blockchains that you can think of, right? But it seems that the fate of these copycat projects is just to eventually just trend down. And if they don't make like a good enough product, even if it's a copy, if they don't make a good enough product, then the token trending down just eventually means that the project is going to be abandoned or something like that.
Yeah, it is wild. I mean, that feeling of innovation and optimism and future looking technologies was one of the things that was really attractive about crypto in general. And the money making aspect was cool, but it just felt like this is the place where humanity is going to, bring some great minds and think about things in some new ways. And I'm sure it is cyclical, and there's a lot of people that will just fizzle out when the excitement dies. There's other teams that will probably stay strong and use this time to do some really cool things. And I mean, my crypto thesis is that crypto is not going anywhere, that there will be other cycles, that this is a wildly profitable game for a lot of people that make a ton of money off of poorly educated retail investors and a lot of other ways too, so that it's just a matter of time. It's a patience game. So I don't know if we're gonna see Codex on this call.
Yeah,
We might just try again.
Him.
We might just try again. But I know that he just had a video that he was posting, so that's all on the Crypto Garden YouTube channel. People can find.
How do you feel like knowing that over the last 4 predictions that I made for Bitcoin, they like all 4 of them were like straight on point right now? I mean, like within 1%
Yeah, I saw that
for
you.
4 weeks in a row, dude.
Yeah, I think you're an oracle. I think.
Honestly, I'm even, beginning to be a little bit scared.
Yeah, well, and you're not really trading, right? So it
Yeah.
hasn't like benefited you any.
Honestly, I think like as long as I don't try to trade it, I'm gonna get it right. Okay.
Yeah,
As soon as I start trading it, it's gonna do the exact opposite.
yeah, that is awesome. Well, I think it speaks to your uh proficiency with looking at the whole range of technicals and sentiment, and I think you've got some pretty good witchcraft going, always have.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you've watched those like the liquidation map thingies.
Yeah, you want to share your screen?
Let me just share screen. There's this website here, okay, and you have these lucky spins every once in a while, which I do because I don't like paying for these chart websites. Let's see if I gain
Hmm.
anything here. No, I don't. Sad to see. But anyways,
Yeah.
each credit that you have, you can pull a liquidation map. Okay, so then you click on the button here, and what it shows you is basically how much money is to be liquidated at each price point. So if Bitcoin goes up to, for example, um, 38, 39K, 38K here, what would happen is that this amount of liquidations would happen,
Yeah.
right? And so price usually, and this is, almost crazy to know, because like if I have access to this, then large institutions, those guys that have a billion Bitcoin, they
Mhm.
have had access to this for probably much longer and in a very sophisticated way, probably a lot better than this clunky website, right? And you can see that most of the time price will just go through these spikes and then revert back.
Mhm.
It's so crazy. Like you can see it historically, and it's just what happens when there's a lot of spikes above the price. It goes up,
Mhm.
uh, crosses those spikes, and then goes back down. It's basically like the best tool I have found so far, and it's just such a weird thing to perceive it, to just see, well, people are going after my liquidations. I mean, it's not just a conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah, and it's all right here in the data. And when you start seeing the chart patterns as just a representation of that, like that's what the market is. And it always bugs me when I hear people in the YouTube sphere and stuff talk about like, oh, the bulls versus the bears, and like, oh, the bulls are really pushing, but oh, the bears are like dragging it down. It's like, no, we're seeing these spikes because people are very sophisticatedly, wiping out these liquidating people, taking their money. It's happening time and again. Whenever someone thinks it's going to go one way, they're building up those shorts, and then it goes long, then it blasts off, and it's rinse and repeat. So that is a cool tool just to see it, you know, as obviously as you possibly can. So
Yeah.
what's your next prediction then, based on that, with all that
Oh man,
liquidity there sitting at
that
39,000?
is a complicated thing to do. So just on the liquidation map alone, usually when I do the TA videos, I go through a lot of stuff. I go through the technicals, then I also go through sentiment analysis and whatnot. But I think this liquidation map, it makes it a little bit obvious that we have a huge spike here at around like 39K, 38K. But after that, you can see that the mountains here, the little cliffs and valleys, they are way smaller if you compare to the area here, so
The
the area
lower ones,
below the
yeah.
current price. So what I would think we would do, and this is not a full prediction, so I'm not even going to draw it on my chart. For that, you're going to have to watch the Sunday video, okay, that I'm going to post on the Crypto Garden. But I would think that we would see something like going up to 38K maybe, and then just heading back down to where we are at right now, and just going sideways or even going a little bit lower.
Yeah. What is this tool that you have? Let me annotate here. I always love to see the different indicators and stuff that you use. You've turned me on to some good ones.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I mean, right now and I'm not trying to show myself or anything. Every single one of the indicators here, I've coded myself.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, it's all like, and this is very important. I'll never like ask for money for any indicators. I've seen people trying to, pass themselves as me before, trying to sell like premium trading packages and premium
Yeah.
indicators. Yeah, there are actually scammers passing themselves as me, but you can check them on my GitHub, like the source code, just because TradingView doesn't let me publish my scripts. They tell people that it is misleading when it's really not. And so
They're
yeah,
too good. You're breaking
yeah,
the
yeah,
breaking the
they're too
game.
good. I think they're too good. Okay, and you can check all of the source code for all the indicators that I've
Sweet. And those are just
coded so
Pine
far.
scripts. You can just paste them into
Yeah,
the
you can just
sweet.
copy the code and then paste it, and it's all exactly the way it's on my screen right now. So even the colors, even the settings, it's exactly the way it's looking on my screen right now.
Awesome. Wow, you are just a generous soul. And it's cool. Yeah, I've had a love-hate relationship with crypto over the last couple years, as you are more aware than anyone. And yeah, I'm excited to just keep this channel open, keep the crypto garden here for people when and if they're ready to kind of jump into a friendly space. I mean, you post content every week. You're doing these predictions. Like you said, you've been right on the last 4 of them. And you've got, I mean, it's clear that you're doing this out of passion and no other reason, and just helping people. So you are, just knowing you is one of the best things that came out of crypto for me.
Oh yeah, I mean, the crypto
But you got to give me
garden.
my dog back. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Love it.
Uh,
All right,
yeah.
TC, the man, the myth, the legend.
Thank you.
I'll let you get back to your day, but yeah, this was great. I think the timing is good. I think this will help a lot of people, and just, yeah, kind of instill that calm for anyone who's still clinging onto the roller coaster ride. But yeah, good luck with your studies, and I'll see you in the crypto garden.
Yeah, sure. Nice talking to you, man.
Cool.
Cool.
Cheers.
Cheers.